In this video, I'm going to show you how to use RapidMiner to convert a categorical variable into dummy variables using one-hot encoding. So here from this process, you can see I read my data set, and RapidMiner provides you one operator. The name is one-hot encoding. So that is the one you can use to convert our categorical variable to numeric variables. So after we connect our one-hot encoding operator with a data set, and we can check our settings in the parameter, we can use subset and just select all the categorical variables that we want to convert using the select attributes. So in the list, we can see that in our insurance data set, we have 3 categorical variables. And basically, the 3 variables is the thing that when we read our data set into RapidMiner, RapidMiner consider it as nominal. And that is why it's shown here as a potential categorical variables. Region, sex, smoker, and those are 3. And let's just choose region. Let me remove this one. So let me choose a region here and apply. So the first output example, that is the one we want, and we connect with a result. So after you run that, you will see that for other columns, it keeps the same value. And for region column, it got a break into 3 columns here. We do have 4 regions in our data set. And after we use one-hot encoding, there are only 3 columns. And because if the value on the 3 columns are all 0, so that indicates that this observation belongs to the 4th region. So in this case, when we do one-hot encoding, we don't need to display the column for all the 4 categories, and we only need to do it on 3 columns. And then for the 3 columns, that indicates the 3 different regions that you can see from the title. So now the name of the column changed, and the name changed from region to region equals to southeast, and to southwest and southeast, northwest and northeast here. And the values are coded as 0 and 1, so those are dummy coded. Those are the dummy variables, and then later on when you run the analysis, you can simply choose all the 3. And in order to catch the information from the region variable. So that is the basic use. And here's one more thing I would like to discuss is that sometimes, RapidMiner doesn't really know which variable is considered as a categorical variable or numeric variable. RapidMiner as a computer software only reads your data set and to see whether this column contains number or contains text, which is non-numeric values. And if the column contains numbers, RapidMiner will read it by default as a numeric column. But perhaps sometimes, although the value shows us numbers, but we want to consider it as a categorical variable, and we don't want to use the variable directly. So in this case, remember that when you see the one-hot encoding attribute list, it only shows you the categorical variables or nominal variables in RapidMiner. And if your data set, the variable read as numeric variable, and it will not shown in the list, that you cannot apply one-hot encoding directly. In order to do that, we will need to do one more step that to convert our numeric variable into polynomial variable. So that is the name of operator. We can add it into our process here. So for this numeric to polynomial, so that is, again, one operator that we can choose a subset of variables. And here it will only show us a list of numeric variables. So there are 4 columns. And you can use your judgment to decide whether you just want to keep the column as numeric variable in your model, or you want to convert it into a categorical variable. If you want to consider it as categorical variable, for example, children, and I think the number of children, and it's not a numeric variable, I want to consider it as categorical variable because with a different number of children, and people may have different behavior, for example, that's going to affect my analysis. So I want to convert these children to a dummy variable. In order to do that, I need to convert it to nominal first. So in this numeric to polynomial operator, I will select the children, and as the one I would like to convert. And then let me disable this one so you can see how it looks like. So after we convert it, you can see in the data set, it's nothing changed. Children still children, and those are still the values. And the difference can be seen from the statistics. You can find our children column here. Now the type is not integer, it's not a real number, so it's called nominal. And it doesn't calculate the mean value, standard deviation value for you. Instead, it calculates the frequency for each children values. Basically, now we can call it a category. So each children category. And we do have 6 categories in total from 0 to 5. And now you can see it becomes a categorical variable. And if we want to convert it to dummy, we can further do that. We add this one-hot encoding back. And now in the one-hot encoding list, you're able to see the children. So let's put the region back and let's keep the children, apply, and see how it looks like. And now you can see, I said we have 6 categories in the children from 0 to 5. And now you can see the children column disappeared. And instead, it got replaced by 5 dummy variables from children equals to 0 to children equals to 4. And children equals to 5 got eliminated because if all the values on these 4 columns equals to 0, so that indicates that this person has 5 children. And that is how it works. And all those 5 columns are 5 dummy variables. Again, similar for your analysis, you need to include all the 5 columns in order to get the information about children.